We are live for another Thursday's Top Tips in Real Estate here on the Arrow Title Services page. And we are so excited every week to talk about a new topic here in real estate because real estate is ever changing, but there's a lot going on within it. And so each and every week we try to go over a different topic to help guide you guys as buyers or even sellers in the market to make great decisions and hear from your local trusted professionals. Every week we have local realtors and local lenders who come on and share with you their best tips as well as information in regards to our local market here along the Treasure Coast. And it's always great information all the way throughout. So today's topic is a very, very good topic that I think everyone should hear. It is what we've named it is Joe versus Pro, essentially for sales by owners. So we are going to talk about for sale by owners and just the pros and cons of, doing Joe versus Pro and what you're kind of getting out of that. So it's going to be a very interesting conversation. We're going to go through the first portion where each of these local amazing professionals are going to share with us their thoughts on it. We'll have a discussion. And then the second portion will be these professionals will share with you their number one top tip of the week right now in real estate, as well as the third portion, which is going to be any announcements that they have, because they always have great information coming up. And you can always reach out to any of the local professionals on this call via their Facebook pages, which are linked in the description of this video. And if you want to rewatch any of our previous videos, you can do that on our Arrow Title Services YouTube channel. So always great information, and we do different topics each week. So let's get into this topic. I'm really excited, and we are going to have Alannah start us off.
Well, awesome. Thank you so much for hosting this, Lucy. And this is a great topic. I'm Alannah Ghazel with eXp Realty. And I love for sale by owner conversations. I love talking with those people. I am a realtor by trade, so it goes without saying that I think a realtor is incredibly valuable. But let's talk about some of the pros that a for sale by owner thinks that process gives them. They seem to think that you can save money that way. You're not paying a realtor, you're probably paying less for title, therefore you're saving money. And they think it really is that cut and dry. I can debunk that, but let me go on for a second. They also think that the person-to-person process of selling actually makes them more money. They think that they can express the value of their property through their eyes to the buyer, and thereby possibly do an even better job than the agent who's allegedly representing them. So a couple of the cons that go with for sale by owner that they don't necessarily think about, but the numbers don't lie. 8% of for sale by owners actually successfully sell their property. That's not even the ones at the price that they're looking for. That's selling it by themselves. So that means that the other 92% is a combination of they got dejected, they weren't getting the movement they wanted, so the listing is now labeled as expired, or they ended up taking a loss or having to make compromises along the way, or they ended up hiring out those services and actually getting a realtor involved to represent them. One of the things that I love to share with for sale by owners who are open to why an agent might be valuable, the numbers that I've seen shake out consistently have agent representation resulting in a higher sale price at the end. That means that if I'm a good agent and I can do my job, I can get you a higher sale price that justifies not only you're paying me, but you're paying the other agent and you're paying for all of the things that come with the transaction process, and you're still walking away with more money. That's not always, but boy, is that consistent in my experience and the experience of the colleagues and professionals that are also on this call. We work at that high level. So, I'm a big believer in the conversation. It never hurts to talk with someone before you decide to do their job by yourself. And there's no shortage of things that you don't want to have to do throughout this process. But I want to leave it open for the other people on this call to chime in. There's so many funny bits that I'm looking forward to hearing. So I'm going to throw it back to you, Lucy.
Thank you, Alannah. And a great way to start off that conversation with some numbers, because people love numbers. I think that gives people a great idea. And I know that we'll delve even deeper into that. So thanks for starting us off well there, Alannah. And we will go to Jessica. Please tell us your thoughts.
Thanks, Lucy. Hi, everybody. My name is Jessica Taylor. I'm a real estate broker and I'm associated with eXp Realty. So yes, like Alannah, I do like having these conversations with for sale by owners, but I'm a little bit more aggressive when it comes to it. So in the nicest way possible, but it's my job and it's my career, and I want to be able to best educate those for sale by owners, as to why I should list their property and why they should let me do that job. So let's say we're me as a realtor, I'm just doing my drive through my neighborhood to see if anything has popped up. Well, that's something that I do. I drive by the neighborhood, especially if your home that's listed for sale by owner is deep in a neighborhood. Who's going to be driving by? Only the people that either live in that neighborhood or have family in that neighborhood or have a reason to be in that neighborhood. Otherwise, the person that's going to be purchasing a home is not really going to be doing too many drive-throughs on a daily basis. So the very first thing is, as a realtor, I can set up that specific marketing plan to help get your home sold. And not only that, but put it on the MLS, put it on the internet, so hundreds and thousands of people can get their eyes on that, which can get it sold quicker. And one of the things that my mentor, she actually told me to and I'm going to be updating my own listing presentation with, is to create something that's visual for people like for sale by owners to see all the work that's done behind the scenes that realtors do. It's like an iceberg or a tree with roots. So the top part of the tree, you see that. You see the pretty pictures online, you see that we put it on the MLS, and then you see a little, a sign out there, but that is only what they see. Part of my job, just a small portion of it, I'm just going to run down a couple of things, is that yes, we know all of the back end data on the MLS that we can provide to you, and we can do that research on the pricing and why we think it should be at this X price for your home. We do all of the CMA data and figure out the best pricing strategies for your home. We know the comps, we know all about the recent sales and things of that nature. And the most important part is the contracts. We navigate that entire transaction from the very beginning to past the end of when the home sells. And we help to juggle all the different people that are involved in selling a home, from the other realtors, title, insurance, the appraiser, the inspection. There's a lot of things that happen behind the scenes and after it's sold that you may not, as a for sale by owner, you may not be aware of that. So that's one of the main reasons why I like to get in front of for sale by owners, so I can educate them on the entire process from beginning to the end and everything in between, because it is way more than just throwing it up online and then hoping somebody sees it. So there's a lot of work that goes behind being a realtor.
Thank you. Great, great addition to that. And I think, to sum that up even, realtors are like a facilitator in the whole process. So it's just you guys are connecting the dots and doing the work that nobody really wants to do when it comes to selling your home. All those moving pieces and parts, if you're a for sale by owner, you're going to have to be managing that. And if you're not in the industry every single day, it's definitely hard to manage. I mean, it's not like a walk in the park. It's like, you got to know people. You got to know what's going on. You got to know what you're talking about. You got to know the terminology, which by itself is confusing. Let me just say, so it's like, it's not something that's easily able to just pop into and be like, yeah, like buying a cake at a store. Like, it's not like that. So great information, Jessica. Thank you. All right, we're gonna head to, or actually we'll have Codi go. And then we'll go to the lending side, because, I don't want you to be all by yourself on the back end of things. But yeah, Codi, go ahead and give us your thoughts on that before we go to the lending side of things.
Sure. Thank you, Lucy. And thank you again every week for providing a platform for us to help educate the general public on what we do. We are absolutely a huge part of the process. We basically are the process. If you just hand it over to a professional, they can get everything done for you for the most part. So I'm so inspired by listening to Alannah and Jessica talk about their approach in real estate. And, you know, we here at the Bourgeois Real Estate Group, I'm a third generation real estate broker, lifetime resident of the Treasure Coast. You know, the local experts are the ones that have been into these homes. We know the neighborhoods, we know the amenities. I can tell you that a certain company from California has never been in any of these homes, and artificial intelligence is not going to put dollar signs on your check, not going to put extra zeros on your proceeds at the end of the day. So real quick, you know, Jessica was talking about having a visual presentation of what the process looks like. For sale by owners would be treated just as though they were a seller customer of ours. We'll inform them of the entire process. We have visual aids. We have checklists for everything. This is actually a seller consultation folder with Bourgeois Real Estate Group. We have checklists for everything. And, you know, the average Joe they don't know what they don't know. And, you know, a couple of points that I wanted to make or help to focus in on is that, you know, don't leave money on the table just because you think that you can save X percent, you know, or a certain amount of money on a commission, which we like to call a success fee, because we do not get paid unless we sell that property for you, successfully sell that property. You know, average Joe just doesn't know what they don't know. So don't leave money on the table. Talk to a realtor. When you put your house onto the market on your own, you are essentially joining our industry for a very short amount of time. With 10 plus years experience, with the additional experience of everyone on this call, short or long term, we all have the resources to get the job done. This is what we do every day. You're coming in sort of as a temp to try and make a huge number and very important of decisions in your financial well-being, potentially. So don't go it alone. And back to what Jessica was saying about the contracts that we use, I wanted to point out that these are not just contracts that some attorney wrote up and like we use them. In our office at Bourgeois Real Estate Group, we use the Florida Bar approved, Florida Realtors provided purchase agreement. So this purchase agreement has been through, there's tons of case law behind it. It has been litigated, mediated, and improved over time to sort of cover everything that you would not know could cause a problem in the transfer. It's 12 pages long for a reason. It's a very good contract. It has been, it's bulletproof. And as this contract specifically I'm talking about, it's bulletproof in Florida law. It continues to be held up, and its verbiage is continual, you know, is strengthened as needed. So, you know, when we do sit down and we have a consultation with a for sale by owner or any potential seller, there are disclosures that you probably don't know that you need to make. Anything that material affects the value of the property, you probably need to read that chapter 475 for real estate and the disclosures required and all of the other Florida statutes involved in real estate. So if you're going to join our industry, read up on the law. Also, you know, there's a copy of our as is contract with highlights about, you know, what can happen and how to protect yourself and how that contract does protect you in certain ways. And then we have resources. We have people like, you know, our title insurance professionals at Aero Title Services, moving professionals. And Jessica, I do have 184 tasks that a realtor does for you in this packet, which, you know, some apply, some do not, but this doesn't even cover it. It doesn't even cover all the things that we do behind the scenes that you wouldn't even know about to get that property ready, marketed, under contract, negotiated, get it to the closing table, my goodness, and then the aftercare that's done after that contract is closed and everybody walks away with keys and checks. So I'll throw it back to you. I said a lot. I've got a lot to say about everything, but this in particular, I love working with sellers. We really are a steward through the entire process. My business is built on listings, and we have the tools and the resources to get it done.
Absolutely, Katie. Great information as always. You guys always come with the best information, and I love it. The fire and passion that you guys have, I mean, just shows a lot in itself. But there's one thing that you did mention, Katie, that I want to reiterate to as well is that expert negotiators, guys. If you're a for sale by owner, you're not going to be in the industry every single day to know what's important to the other side. What is it that they're looking for? What is it that you need to pay attention to? When you come in kind of flying blind, you're not going to be able to be in the best position to negotiate your property. And unfortunately, at the end of the day, every seller wants more money for their property and every buyer wants less money for the property. So you don't want to be stuck in a situation where you're getting finagled out of it. Like having a realtor on your side is actually like protection for you because they're trying to protect you, making sure that you are getting taken care of in the process, just like the realtor on the other side for the buyer is doing the same for their client. And it's coming to a mutual agreement and making sure that both parties are not getting taken advantage of in any way, shape, or form. So that's the important piece of it. And, and then title's right in the middle of that, where we're facilitating all of that and making sure that, again, nobody's getting taken advantage of. So it's just really important to understand that they're your representation. They're your facilitator. They're there to help you, not just take your money. Like the industry is there for a reason. And we'll talk a little bit later. I'll get back into it because I do want to talk about all of the things that a realtor truly does to help you sell your property. But I want to bring it to the mortgage. I know we don't have time, right? We'll be here all day. But I do want to bring it to the mortgage side of things to see what Peggy sees on her side as a mortgage lender, and just like she works with for sale by owners. I mean, every lender does, and we work with for sale by owners. Like it's part of the industry. Yeah. But just like kind of those struggles that we see when we come across them. So Peggy, take it away.
Yes. Hello, Lucy and everyone. It's so great to be here. I know I missed a couple weeks just because of the nature of this business. It's been so crazy, but I'm Peggy Hornick with East Coast Mortgage Lenders, and I have 39 years of experience in the lending industry. And let me tell you, I have a lot to talk about for sale by owners. I see contracts coming in from for sale by owners, and they are different. There is a lot lacking. I just got a contract or just got a call from a potential home buyer. They're selling their house. They have a contract that they decided to sell for sale by owner. And on their contract, they have a 30-day inspection period. And they're having a hard time getting a new home because the seller of any new home doesn't want to wait for that 30 days to pass for them to meet their inspection period. So it did them a detrimental thing not to have a realtor and have a quick inspection period because they have to wait for that inspection period to go through. So I see it a lot. And the biggest thing that I see is that contracts and transactions where there's a for sale by owner take longer to close than if a realtor is involved. And that is because there is nobody pushing the ball forward. I see it all the time, and that's what my realtor partners do. They push the ball forward at every step of the way, and they're moving that loan and that transaction forward. And when you've got a for sale by owner seller, there's nobody to push the ball forward. So title takes longer. Even picking out a title company takes a lot longer. Getting the inspections done takes longer. And then in this market and this is how I can understand why sellers think that they can sell for sale by owner, because we are in a hot market and you put a house up for sale and in 2 days it's sold. But think about this. If you're the seller and you have an open house and then on the Sunday, 10 offers come in, as an uneducated or unexperienced seller, how do you go through all of those contracts and determine which contract is the best for you? You need your listing agent to do that for you, to determine what deal is going to be the best for you. And then also you've got all of these other agents calling you and, you know, wanting to find out if their offer is accepted. And it's a lot of pressure. It is a lot, because there are a lot of instances where 5, 6, 7 contracts are coming in at the same time. So I would hate to be a seller trying to sell my own house for sale by owner and have to navigate all of that and communicate back to all of the individual agents. So that is a huge value that realtors bring to the seller and the buyer. And I see it all day long. I just know that they sell faster when realtors are involved on both sides. So kudos to you guys for doing your part of the work. And that's it.
That's great information, Peggy. Thank you so much for bringing that full circle for us. As well as, you know, when it comes to those contracts, a lot of people aren't familiar with contracts. So if you don't know what you're signing at the end of the day, you don't know what you're agreeing to, that's a legally binding document. And if you, do you have something to add?
I agree, absolutely. And so we work in contracts every day. We use the same contract consistently. We understand the ins and outs. And if we don't, we have a broker like myself that can explain it. Hiring an attorney to review a 12-page document under the gun, multiples maybe, you're costing yourself more money. Potentially, there may be some attorneys out there that will review and help to an extent, but they need to be paid for their time, and they charge a lot more than some of the realtors do per hour. Just saying. You could end up costing yourself more money because you need this legal advice that you could get with a realtor through the services that they offer. Not legal advice, but legal know-how to navigate the contract and the terms within it.
Absolutely. And if you have one question now or a few questions now, and then you pay them once for their time, and then you're on your own the rest of the time, what if another question comes up? What if another speed bump comes up?
What if they miss a timeline? How do you enforce it? What are your rights to cancel the contract, whether you're a buyer or a seller? There's so much that average Joe doesn't know they don't know.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. If I may add to that as well, because if I see this all the time, if the appraised value doesn't come in, who's going to help negotiate you going back to the seller to negotiate that reprice or that resales price and that? So there's so many things during the process that needs to be negotiated.
Absolutely.
Or even fight for the value. We know the neighborhood. We created the report to show you the comparable sales in the neighborhood. We can go to that appraiser and say, I need to see your report. Let's see where we missed something.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's another value of having a realtor, is they do that CMA for you so that they can see, or I'm talking terminology now, the market analysis for you for your property, so that you know, based on those houses around you, what your house is worth, in a sense, so that it won't go through appraisal and not pass through appraisal. That's the whole point. But you miss those pieces of the puzzle along the way if you kind of just negate that whole process. So I do see that Codi joined us. Welcome, Codi. Do you have something you want to add to the conversation really quick before we go into the full discussion?
Sure. Codi, Bourgeois Real Estate Group. Sorry I'm late. I got a ton of things going on here. Property values, market trends, negotiation. I mean, these are all things that realtors deal with behind the scenes, things that the average person doesn't have the education on. The relationships we have with other realtors and other professionals in the industry. We know who to use for certain situations. We know, what's required, how to duck and dodge, how to stick and move, so, this whole transaction process is so unpredictable. If you are a regular person and you have a job and, all kinds of things going on, and all of these things come up in your transaction, that you have to deal with right away, you might not be able to do that. And that is what your realtor is for. And those are the things that we deal with so that you can move about your day without the headache. But we know how to handle these situations. We know what is required, how to get those solutions really quickly. So, I mean, you think you're saving yourself some money, but in the end, it could end up costing you. You're not as educated on the whole process. So that is my take today.
Great addition, Cody. And that actually goes into the point that I want to make in a little example of a situation that we recently came across where someone was they had a piece of land. The land was worth less than $30,000, well, that's what they were selling it for. I didn't look super into the land, but they were selling it for less than $30,000. In the past, they had always done a quitclaim deed and just passed over the property on and on and on to family member or whoever to whoever. And that happened for years. And if you don't know what a quitclaim deed is, it's pretty much signing over that property and not going through the whole title insurance process, not protecting yourself in case anything that someone made mistakes in the past, you're not protecting yourself from that. And in this situation, they did not have that protection or title insurance or anything, and they couldn't find out who was actually entitled to that land. So they're trying to sell it over the proper way this time through a title company, realizing that the title for the property, going back, they can't even find the proper heirs for it because there was a missed signature. There was, everything going on. And this property isn't even worth what it's going to cost to go ahead and fix that whole process of going through attorneys and maybe doing a quiet title or even, whatever it's going to take, or doing probate and trying to figure out what's going to happen with that. And when you talk to local professionals, no local professional is going to tell you, quitclaim deed, it's good. No professional is going to tell you that. And, and I've had other situations too. Another one just recently where they called and they were like, oh yeah, the seller, this is a different situation. This is on a $300,000 house. The seller is trying to tell the buyer, this for sale by owner situation. The seller's trying to tell the buyer, we'll just do a quitclaim deed. Just call the title company and get a title search. And then we'll do a quitclaim deed and you'll be fine. Like on a $300,000 house, he's trying to tell her they're strangers. They don't know, and that's where people get into sticky situations because they take advice from other people. He doesn't want to pay closing costs. So he's trying to save money on which he has to pay doc stamps anyways. It's like, you're not saving money. You're literally causing heartache for someone else in the future. And you should never trust someone outside of the industry to give you advice on something that they don't know anything about. So when you talk to a local professional, thankfully we got the call and I explained to them why that was a silly situation before it happened. So, it looks like it's going to end up going through us, thankfully, but still just scary to even think about that was potentially a thing that she was considering doing. And, it happens all the time. And it's all about protecting yourself at the end of the day when it comes to contracts, when it comes to, the property itself, when it comes to just whatever might come across in the process, making sure that you are protected. But I do want to really quickly go back to what realtors actually do and the value that they offer you for the money that you're paying for them from a seller's perspective. From a buyer's perspective, you don't pay for a realtor. You don't pay for a realtor. It's free. Like essentially, the seller is the one paying for their property to be sold. But from the seller's perspective, the amount that you do pay out to the realtors on both sides, buyers and seller, or buyer's agent and seller's agent, is going to be way less than what you would have to spend to be able to do everything that they do. Putting it on the MLS, getting the marketing done for it. One thing I wanted to mention, out-of-state buyers are huge right now. So many people are purchasing houses without even looking at them. And because of that, guess what's really important? Having professional photos taken of your house. having a virtual tour, a system that brings in the virtual tour so that someone can go through your home without even walking in your home and put a purchase on it. But none of that is going to happen for you if you're in a for sale by owner situation and you don't have those tools, those connections, or anything to be able to get in front of the right people who would be interested in your home. So I want to open up the floor to that because I know that I've, sparked some, I know you guys got something to say about it.
I'm ready to piggyback. I'm ready to piggyback right into that because it segues perfectly. So on that track of out-of-state buyers being huge right now, you want your property to be exposed to as many potential buyers as possible to give you the best opportunity to get the best bang for your buck. We're the professionals who are being entrusted with that purchase process because those people are not able to travel right now. They can't just come down, take a peek for a couple of days and go back home right now. They have a 14-day quarantine when they get back. So if you're not willing to allow us into your property to be that liaison who's helping make that purchase happen for you, you're already undercutting yourself from the money that you could have already made. It could have already been done.
Yeah, that's true. And Peggy, I know she was raising her hand. Go ahead.
So I have a great example. I live in a really great, desirable neighborhood in Palm City on the water. And I have a neighbor of mine who is for sale by owner, right? And his house has been sitting for like, I don't know, 4 weeks. So I asked him, I said, why haven't you sold your house? And he said, well, I have it on realtor.com. And I said, well, what do you have on there? And he goes, I have a picture of the front. And I said, you don't have any interior pictures. You don't, and I said, okay, this is why your house is not selling. On realtor.com, if I looked at a house with a shady picture of the front, I would just keep swiping right and going past that. I only am going to look at, like what Alannah said, what you said, Lucy, about out-of-town buyers. They're not going to investigate and look at a house for sale by owner with a yucky picture of the front of the house. And it's a water property. They should have had professional, beautiful pictures like the realtors do. That's what sells the house. And that's, you can get only with a realtor.
It's a very visual process when purchasing
Yes.
a home. People want to imagine themselves in your home. And one, if they can't see a picture of the inside of your home, how are they supposed to do that? And two, when buyers see that homes are on the market for an extended amount of time, that hurts you as well. Because if it's on the market for a long time, they're like, why hasn't this sold yet? Oh, this is a nice house, but why hasn't? What's wrong with it? And they're questioning. You have to put yourself in the perspective of the buyer and like, what are they going to, think? And a lot of people lose that foresight. And they think it's going to be okay. And what are you saving? You're actually wasting time, which I don't know about y'all, but time is money. Time is money. And the time that you spend doing anything, if you're spending 4 weeks, 5 weeks, however many months trying to sell your home, that's all wasted time that you just had with that whole process. Like that could have been done quick, and taken care of by a professional. That's what our whole world is. It's like, you pay for a service because you cannot do the service yourself. That's
the time, the investment, the market knowledge, the understanding of the client and what they're looking for. The advice that we give is because we are directly benefited by your transaction being successful, right? We have no reason to withhold it. And if a house is sitting for 90 days on a market where things are consistently under contract in less than 14 days, it's less than 10 days right now is the average that I'm seeing. If your house is sitting longer than that, take a look at your mortgage, multiply it by 3 for 90 days, and then tally up everything else that goes into keeping the lights on and ask yourself if you wouldn't have been willing to pay that to someone to make more on that property and be done already.
Absolutely. As well as if, let's say it's the house you're living in and you need to move out of it and purchase another home. Are you not going to use a realtor for that? We're in a market right now where it's really hard to find houses. And if you do not have a local professional on your side to be able to navigate that process with you and negotiate the best deal possible for you, and in the market that we're at, like you are going to be so if there's an individual buyer coming to a property and there are 4 or 5 other realtors with different deals from your negotiation skills just aren't compared unless you were a realtor before. Like,
Oh, and then say you just want to throw, your business to the wind to the agent who happens to be doing that open house that day. And you're like, hey, I'm not working with anybody. I want this house. You're putting that agent in a position to potentially be representing both sides. And while there's inherently nothing necessarily wrong with that, do you want to be represented by somebody who has their skin on the other side of the game? Or do you want someone that's a bulldog advocating specifically for you and what you need? Because a lot of those professionals, when you tell them you're not working with someone, they go, you know what, I've got somebody great I'm going to connect you with that I do great business with, because this is going to be a phenomenal process from start to finish. And we know how to navigate those waters and those conversations for you.
absolutely.
Right.
Go ahead, Jessica.
I mean, this goes for like buyers and renters mostly, but you talk about those out-of-state people, they have to buy these houses unseen because they don't have time to physically view them. They go that quickly. Renters, I mean, these rentals, you can't even find them anymore. So that's why you need a realtor, because that realtor can, if you see something online or on the MLS or whatever, if they present something to you that you like, your realtor can go take a look at it for you and let you know whether or not it's worth it, because you're not going to have time to physically view it. I mean, everybody that I talk to, I have to tell them now, like, you have to make a decision based on the picture you saw. It's that quick. So, I mean, there's so many reasons why you should have a realtor.
Absolutely, especially if you work a full-time job. Like, if you work a full-time job, how are you supposed to be out there looking at houses?
Right.
I've got a funny story about that, actually. So I was having a consult with a couple that I was good friends with, and they didn't want to give me the business just yet. They wanted to try to list it themselves first. Happens often. It's a conversation that, you welcome people doing their own thing. But I told them, I said, listen, I'm going to do an experiment, and I'm going to post your open house one time, but I'm going to get you so much traffic, and I'm going to attach your phone number to it. I'm not going to have any of my information attached to it. They're all going to be calling you. So what I'm going to tell you is you better be ready. You better put a notepad by your phone, and you better answer that phone, because that is my life and that is my job. So let's try it out. Let's see what happens. So I got so much traffic funneled to their phone. She stopped answering the phone. She got upset because she wasn't able to do her usual thing. Imagine that. And so, so we revisited, and I was getting ready to, check in and see, do we want to do an open house after all? Are you ready to have me, just even show you what that traffic looks like? And I asked her to tell me, how are you doing on your own? How's it going? She goes, I can't even have a conversation with somebody. I can't manage to keep them on the phone when they call. There's so many people who aren't ready to move on, and I don't even know the questions to ask them to filter one from the other. It's frustrating. I'm over it. And that happens often. So it's something to consider, that's just one thing that we bring to the table, that we are the ones answering every call.
Absolutely. That's a great point. Go ahead, Jessica.
So what I wanted to say on top of all of these great points is that as full-time super local realtors, we have local relationships. Let's say your water heater goes out, your AC goes out, or you need to switch up your lawn care. You can go to Google and read the Google reviews and everything of that nature. But if you ask a realtor, for somebody that can help them out, we have people that are vetted, that are trusted, that we've worked with in the past, that we trust, that can come help you out at a drop of a dime, that we trust to do the best job. That's the main difference, between just, kind of finding somebody randomly. But that's a huge aspect of our job, is to be, it's relationships. We have strong relationships, very local relationships that can make your life easier when you hire a realtor.
Absolutely. No.
Can I just add to that? I mean, listen, like, there are situations where some people don't use local professionals, and these title companies or lenders or inspection companies, they don't know the local area. They don't really communicate. So what happens when a problem comes up and you got to get on the phone with the lender, the title company, the inspection company, and all of these things to try to solve the problem, solve the issue, get everybody moving and get everybody on the same page, keep the communication going. Like, I mean, you might have to call these people 2-3 times in a day, and just back and forth calling each one to make sure everybody's on the same page. Like, who's going to have time for that? You're a realtor. So, you got to think about all those headaches to deal with.
Yeah. And you bring up a great point too, Cody, about the out of state lenders maybe per se that you're trying to use. That's why local professionals are going to be the ones that are going to be on your side, and they have a reputation. Okay. Everyone on here has a reputation for wanting to help people. And we talked about time being money earlier, guys. The people on here have taken time out of their day because they know and are passionate about this and know how important it is for you guys to have this information. That's why they're here. And I promise you, if you work with any of these local professionals, they are going to take care of you and you're going to be set. We've talked about so many things. If you are tuning in live just now, please rewatch the discussion we just had. It was a great conversation just about Joe versus Pro, for sale by owners, what you're missing out on if you are trying to sell your home right now in this market. I mean, everybody's trying to jump into it, right? Oh, the market's good. Oh, I should sell my home, right? But if you're not using local professionals, you're really missing out on a lot. And you could potentially not potentially, you will make the process a lot more stressful than it needs to be for you. So we're here to make it a stress-free, easy process as much as we can and make it a smooth closing. Take your closing in the right direction.
Right.
Sorry, had to throw that one in there. So guys, we just had this discussion portion and we're going to go on to the second portion, which is the number one top tip of the week from these local professionals. Things are changing all the time, but there are some consistent things that we bring up as well. Great tips to have. So these are your weekly top tips in real estate this week. Alannah, take us away.
Alannah Ghazel with eXp Realty. My top tip for the week is going to be falling in line. Is going to be having those conversations. Ask questions. You don't know everything there is to know about it, and nobody expects that of you. We expect you to reach out to us so that we can share what we know with you and help you.
Love that. Perfect. Very applicable. Thank you, Alannah. What about you, Jessica?
So my top tip for this week, my normal tip is to always interview your entire team and interview a bunch of people. But since we're going to be talking about for sale by owners, I truly encourage all people thinking of going the for sale by owner route to just interview at least one realtor, at least one, so you can get an idea of what type of value and services that they would provide to you. So take the time out to interview at least one realtor before you buy that for sale by owner sign.
Absolutely. That's a great tip. And just, having that connection to be able to see a conversation is free. Okay. Conversation is free. We all like free, right? Free is for me. Conversation free. Go for it. Thanks, Jessica. All right, Peggy, what about you from the lending side? Top tips, any updates?
Yes, Peggy Hornick with East Coast Mortgage Lenders. My top tip for the week is there are so many loans coming through the system right now. So the minute you get into contract, don't delay. Get your inspection scheduled. That's number one. Because after the inspection, then I can order the appraisal. And guess what? Appraisers are backed up. They're taking 2 weeks. So the clock starts ticking on either your 30 days or your 45 days into contract. Your clock starts ticking the minute you sign that contract and it's all accepted. And there are so many things that need to get done in those 30 days. I have borrowers all the time like lollygag and not get in and think that, oh yeah, we've got a long time. Those 30 days come up fast. All of the services have to be done in that time. So get your inspection done the next day or as soon as you can schedule so that I can order the appraisal and get it done and we can get to closing on time or early. That's my top tip.
I love that. And I'm going to add to that too, because that applies to us here in title as well. Once inspections are done, we can order our title search. We're not going to spend money when you haven't even decided whether you're moving forward with the home. For anybody out there who doesn't understand what an inspection period is, it is a period of time that is negotiated in the contract that you have to be able to back out if you need to. And it is just to make sure that you can make sure that everything in the house is what they said it is, protecting you. And always get an inspection, by the way, even if it's new construction, always get an inspection. So I just, yeah, when those inspections are done, make sure that you're communicating with your lender and your title company that the inspections are done and that you are moving forward so that we can move forward with the process to get you taken care of. And we're going to go down to Katie.
Thank you, Lucy. Katie Bourgeois with the Bourgeois Real Estate Group. So kind of piggybacking on both what Alannah, Jessica, and Peggy are saying, my top tip would be to have a consultation with a realtor. Sit down, not only, interview, yes, but consult with a realtor, consult with a local professional who knows the area, knows what's going on in the market, has great contacts, can show you and prove to you that they are successful in the market. They've got the resources and connections to get the job done, and can keep you organized with checklists and all kinds of fun stuff. So consult a realtor, specifically a local expert, as I've said before, but definitely having that consultation, whether or not you end up using a realtor, that's fine, but you're going to get educated through that, 45-minute to an hour conversation, probably enough to say, I need to hire a real estate professional, or to, however which way they want to go with it, but at least get the information so you can make an informed decision rather than just Googling it.
Yep. Google's powerful. Don't get us wrong, but it's not what you need to utilize when trying to sell your house, with this being the biggest sale or purchase of your life.
And if there are any doubts about Google Florida for sale forms and just see how many different things come up and the lack of consistency attached to that, and ask yourself if you want to make the decisions which forms you're using as legally binding documents.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Especially if you're if the other side is educated on what they have and what they know, and you don't, you could be in a bad situation. But we've touched on that already. So thank you guys. And Codi, what's your number one top tip of the week?
Codi here, Bourgeois Real Estate Group. My tip would be to be proactive. There is nothing available, and it's moving quickly. This market is amazing. Things are moving fast. People are backed up. Make sure that your professional has all the things that they're asking you. You get them all the information that they need so that they can go ahead and jump for you when the time comes, and they can do it quickly. Everything's the speed of light right now, so just be proactive so that you can get through the process without a problem. That's my tip.
Great tip. Thank you so much, Codi. All right, we're going to go into the third portion, which is any announcement that these local professionals may have for you. But I do want to, stress, if you guys are watching right now live and you haven't already heard our discussion or our top tips and you're just tuning in now, make sure you guys go rewatch it, because it was great content, great information, and you won't want to miss out on it. As well as if you ever want to rewatch any of our videos this week, previous weeks, we talk about new topics every single week, and you can do so on our Arrow Title Services YouTube channel under the Thursdays Top Tips in Real Estate playlist. So just want to throw that out there really quick, and let's get into, you can also reach out to any of the local professionals on this call by reaching out to their Facebook pages, which are linked in the description of this video. All right, let's get into the announcements portion. And Alannah, do you have anything?
Well, as a matter of fact, since our conversation about new builds last week, I am working with 3 people who want to be building in Martin County, and we are exploring lot options. And honestly, we haven't found the perfect lots yet. So if you're sitting on one here in Martin County and it's not listed, give me a call. Let's chat about it. Tell me what you're interested in. We'll talk.
I like it. Thanks, Alannah. What about you, Jessica?
Yeah, so my announcement was pretty similar. If you are thinking about selling your home and you just don't know where to start by giving me a call, start by reaching out via DM, email, and we can discuss. We can have that consultation so we can walk you through the entire process so you can feel comfortable with selling your home right now because it will sell quickly.
It will. Love it. All right. Peggy, any announcements?
Really, the only announcement is interest rates are still really low. If you own your home and your interest rate is anywhere above 4%, we need to talk, even if it's 3.8, 3.75, because you will benefit from getting into the twos. Interest rates are the lowest that they have been in a long time. Put your money into your 401k, your IRAs, but get your mortgage down into the twos, and then you can just pay the minimum payment on that. That's cheap money. That's what every investment financial advisor will tell you, to keep that cheap money.
Absolutely.
That's my announcement.
If you can get money for cheap, why not?
Yeah.
Money for cheap. It's practically free. Love it. Thank you, Peggy, for that. Always great information coming from the lending side of things. And Katie, what do you have for us?
Katie Bourgeois with the Bourgeois Real Estate Group. I love it. Just has a nice ring to it, I guess. I love saying it. Hey, so we announcements, right? So we have 3 new listings coming on. We have a Cinnamon Tree Villa. We're working on that today. We have a condo in Palm Beach Gardens. We're working on that today. And yesterday, getting some final signatures on a home in Port St. Lucie on Aroso Boulevard. So, it does make a difference who you talk to, whether you're on the buyer or seller side. Choose somebody who's active in the market, is seeing success. If we don't work in your area, that's fine. We have plenty of people who, we can refer you to. Our office and specifically works from Palm Beach County, Martin, St. Lucie, Indian River County. We have 10 agents all over the coast. And when you work with a listing agent, to buy a home, we sometimes know what's coming onto the market before some of the others, because we're typically networking constantly in order to stay ahead of the game. Lucy, you're muted.
Just kidding. Love it. Thank you, Katie. Always great information. Appreciate that. And we're going to go to Codi. Do you have any announcements? Anything you want to add?
Hello. Codi with Bourgeois Real Estate Group. Once again, contact me. I'm available. I am, I don't know what's going on in Indian River County, but I swear there is not one rental available in that whole county. So I have a client who is looking for a 3 to 4 bedroom rental, $1,800, $1,900 a month range. So if anybody's out there, please help. I've reached out to a ton of brokerages out in that area. I am always in the market, searching, hunting, looking. I've got so many people that are looking. So reach out to me. I'm here.
Thank you, Codi. Great. I appreciate that update. And all right, guys, we just had a great discussion. I hope if you guys are tuning in live right now, you have the intention of rewatching this video because it was great information. Reach out to the local professionals if you have any questions whatsoever. Feel free to leave a comment. They can see the comments. Do whatever you got to do to get in touch with them because they have taken time out of their day to share with you the very important conversation that we had today. But a lot of them come on every week, or pretty much everybody comes on almost every week, and just to share with you guys this information, this important information that we want to share and put out there in the sphere of things in the social media world. You can pretty much find anything on the internet and such like that, but you're going to be bombarded with fake information and just incorrect information in general, as well as nuggets of information along the way that might be correct. But we're in this industry every single day. We only want to help you. The local professionals are going to be on your side. They have a reputation. They want to help you. They wouldn't be on this call right now if they didn't want to help you. honestly and truly. So I love the amazing professionals that come on here and really share with us. I cannot thank you guys enough for coming on here and making this what it is. This has become a very big value to the people that watch this every single week. And from the bottom of my heart, I appreciate you guys, because I just felt like it was information that really needed to get out there for people. So I appreciate you. I know the people watching appreciate you. They wouldn't want to hear me just talking. So thank you guys.
Well, we appreciate you in this platform.
Yes, of
Thank
course.
you, Lucy.
You're very welcome.
Absolutely, Lucy.
And you guys can always come back every Thursday at 2 p.m. We go live with a new topic. So make sure you guys stay tuned, like our page, so that you guys get the notifications of when we schedule our lives with those topics. As well as on Mondays, we have our Market Update Monday, which is more towards the seller side of things. You get to see what's on the market, what the house is, what they're selling at, and get an update of the market as well in that segment too. So we're just trying to provide value for you guys. And, I'll do a little announcement for us. We started a local spotlight every Friday of local businesses along the Treasure Coast, because we are a local business ourselves. And we thought it was important to spotlight other local businesses that are doing well in our community. So keep an eye out for that too. We always do it at 2 p.m. because it's just consistent. Mondays, 2 p.m., Thursdays, 2 p.m., Friday, 2 p.m. Be on the Arrow Title Services page. That's it. We hope that you guys have a great rest of your week, and we will see you guys next week. Thank you all for watching, and thank you guys for participating. Have an amazing one. Bye.